Chapter 16, Mixed, Michelle's Perspective. I arrived as Agent M outside an abandoned house outside the city, the side of the city opposite the female base. Opening the door, I walked in carefully. From my pocket, I pulled out a sheet of paper. Agent I gave each member of my team handwritten instructions on how to enter their base. Reading the instructions, I headed to the back left corner of the room I was in and pressed the back side of the wall. A hatch flew up to reveal a handprint scanner. I placed my hand gently on the scanner. Turning around, I saw in the center of the room a thin door open on the floor to reveal a tunnel. Slowly, I walked over to the tunnel and crawled down. The door above me closed. I walked into the center of the room. It was almost an exact copy of my base. The computers were more new, and it was a little more clean, being a newer base.
Jasmine, welcome.
I heard Agent I exclaim from the computers. I sat down next to him. Where are the others?
Agent B and Agent Syara with Jasmine. The two of them are new fighting techniques. Agent A and Agent J are showing each other their weapons and how to use them. Agent R and Agent D are in the back room sharing ideas on how to create some stronger weapons.
He explained. Do you mind if I check in with Agent R and Agent D? I asked. He shrugged.
I don't see why not.
I stood up and walked over to the back door. Knocking lightly first, I opened the door and looked to see the two of them at the table next to each other. Agent D was a pretty handsome, dark-skinned boy. He wore a red t-shirt, red basketball shorts, white socks, red sneakers, a red mask, and big black square-framed glasses. The most I knew about him was that he was 18, super smart, and Agent R seemed to have a thing for him, even though she didn't know his identity. Hey, I started, closing the door. How's it going in here? I sat down at the table. Not as fast as we hoped, Agent R admitted.
You still made some progress.
Agent D pointed out. What kind of progress? I asked. Agent D pulled out a bunch of crystals that he and Agent R collected a few days prior and laid them on the table. Agent R pulled out what appeared to be scrap metal. Carefully, Agent D laid 4 crystals on the metal. He motioned for us to stand back. All of us backed up against the wall. From a distance, he threw a 5th crystal into the metal. The second it hit the metal, the crystal bounced away from it and through the door. Agent R walked over to the door, staring at the hole. I really hope no one was caught in the crossfire. Wait, so this metal repelled it? I asked. Agent D paused for a moment, and Agent R walked over to him, listening.
It's titanium. It can bounce back power.
The door slammed open and Lypye walked in, a bewildered expression on her face. What the fuck is going on in here? I glanced at her briefly. Hold on a second, Miss Lypye. I turned back to Agent R and Agent D. How is this progress? What if we take some of the weapons we have, put 12 crystals on them, then coat it with titanium? Agent R suggested. We'd need someone capable of holding a weapon with that amount of power and someone to coat it in titanium. Not to mention putting the titanium on quickly enough to not fully repel the crystals, I pointed out.
If we could encapsulate that power within the titanium, theoretically, it would knock out a supermoon. We're currently working on details.
Agent D explained. Wait, slow down, Lypye put in. What's going on? Titanium repels the crystals, I explained. Or the power or something. Do you really think Agent A and Agent C have the strength to hold a weapon covered in titanium? Lypye asked. I've given some thought to that. Agent B has these boots, gloves, and stomach guard that give her the strength of an immortal. We could create something similar that will help them pick up heavy weapons, Agent R explained. We heard a light knock on the door. All of us turned around to face Joria. Since this is the first time we've had all 8 members together, I thought that a formal introduction would be a good idea. Lypye, Agent R, Agent D, and I walked to the discussion table where the others were already waiting. Joria walked to the front end of the table. Quintheria and Hyena were patrolling outside tonight. Let us start with the first 4 members of the Mortal Syara team. The females, Joria instructed. I took a deep breath. I'm Agent M. I'm 24 years old, and I'm the leader of the female team. Agent R shifted nervously. I'm Agent R, age 17. I'm an inventor. I make weapons for the team. Agent A jumped forward full of energy. And I'm the one who uses those weapons. Hey, I'm 20-year-old Agent A, the weapons expert of the team. And I'm Agent B. Agent B yelled. I'm just the cheering section. She chuckled. Just kidding. I'm the hand-to-hand combat expert. I'm also a really sassy 23-year-old girl. Agent I stepped up next to me.
Hello everyone, I'm Agent I, leader of the male team. I'm 21 years old. This team has become a family. Me and I would do anything to protect all of you.
I gave him a small smile. Agent D put his hands behind his back.
I'm Agent D. I just turned 18 and I'm pretty good at robotics. With Agent R's help, I've made some very efficient weapons.
I noticed Agent R blushing. Agent C stepped forward. I noticed a tattoo of a dragon on his left arm and a tattoo of the names Mary and Thomas on his right arm. He wore an orange tank top, red-orange basketball shorts, white socks, orange sneakers, and an orange mask. I also noticed that he had messy, dark brown hair and hazel eyes.
I am Agent C. I'm currently 36 years old. From a young age, my pa taught me how to use a gun, handgun, rifle, you name it. I also learned a lot from the young Agent A. I've learned a lot about knives, spears, bow staffs, and bow and arrows.
Agent J was the last to step forward. He was wearing navy blue jean shorts, a dark blue t-shirt, white socks, dark blue sneakers, and a dark blue mask. He had beautiful brown eyes and messy brown hair. There was a familiarity to him, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was.
I'm Agent J. I'm 26 years old and a hand-to-hand combat expert. My brother and I learned to fight from a young age, but we used those skills to bully people. I figured the team was a good chance to better myself.
My eyes widened as I realized who Agent J was. I looked over at Juwaria, who was already looking at me. It was obvious with that interaction that Juwaria knew I knew. Agent M? She asked. Could we speak in the back room? I nodded and walked briskly to the back room. Juwaria following suit. As soon as I heard the click of the door closing, I turned around quickly and opened my mouth to speak. Juwaria raised her hand to silence me. I did not want you to know just yet, she told me. I feel like I should have known that my boyfriend was on the other team, I pointed out. You, as well as him, were instructed to keep your identities only known to your respective teams. As the leader of the female team, I expect you to keep this between us. You want me to lie to his face? I questioned. For the time being. You have already kept this a secret from him for years, she told me. I looked down, mumbling. It's going to be awkward now. Juwaria sighed. There will come a time where you can tell him. Until then, remember your responsibilities as a leader. I teared up and stormed out of the room. I shouldn't have done that, but I couldn't listen to her anymore.
Agent M.
I heard a male voice say behind me. I turned around to face Agent J. Jimbo.
Hey, is everything okay?
I wiped my tears and stared at the ground, staying silent. I noticed one of his hands ball up into a fist. He was frustrated.
I want to help, but you need to tell me what's wrong.
Not supposed to talk about it, I mumbled.
Juwaria's orders?
He asked. I looked up at him. Don't take this the wrong way, but please stop talking to me. I turned around and briskly walked away from him. It already hurt me because I wasn't allowed to tell him. Now that I know he's on the other team, it's going to hurt more. I clenched my fists. I've always trusted Juwaria. She's the goddess of light, the angel. So why am I starting to hate her? Why do I no longer trust her? Chapter 17, Final, The Invisible Huntress's Perspective. I remember, hours later, I had gone to Jasmine's house. Well, I was sitting in a tree in their yard about 8 feet in the air. Jasmine had left before I got here, but I did notice the demigod child is Jasmine's roommate, Syara Brown. Syara was very obviously EPSA era, but I highly doubt the child knows that. She doesn't even know she's a demigod. Moving my arm to help switch my sitting position, my elbow accidentally bumped my bow from where I was leaning against the tree. I slid forward off the branch, grabbing the bow with one hand, the branch with the other. The impact from catching the branch shook the leaves vigorously. Quickly, I climbed back onto the branch, using EPS power to hide in the shadows. I noticed the child run out the door. Mommy, is that you? Lypye ran out after her. Kelly! She grabbed the child's wrist tightly. How many times have I told you? You asked to go outside. You can't just run out. But I thought I heard. I don't want any excuses. Lypye paused and looked at the tree I was in. Kelly, go inside. She let go of her wrist slowly. But, the child started. Right now! Lypye yelled. The child's eyes widened before she ran back inside, slamming the door behind her. Lypye looked up at the tree I was in. If you want to hide, don't use my power to do so. I smirked, uncloaked myself, grabbed the bow, and jumped down. Bold of you to assume I know you're Lypye. If the gods can tell, you sure as fuck can. She responded, crossing her arms. What are you doing here? I shrugged. Simply observing the demigod child. Lypye's eyes widened. How do you? I can tell. I snapped. Lypye blasted me in the arm with a black power blast, causing me to drop my bow. She pulled out a black baton and yelled, Transform! I looked down for a second and used telekinesis to pick up the bow. Looking back up, her clothes had changed. Her loose pink t-shirt had changed into a black tank top, and her loose navy blue jeans had changed into black booty shorts. Her blue sleep socks switched to white socks and black sneakers. As she had black eyeliner on and her hair was down 7 in a braid, she looked more like herself. I drew a gold-feathered arrow from my bag and used my bow to aim it at her chest. The arrow wouldn't kill me, Lypye pointed out. I have arrows that could kill you, but I don't want you dead, I responded. Lypye glared at me. You're not going anywhere near Kelly, and unless she is in danger, I won't. But, do you know what the final ingredient to opening the portal to the super immortals? I asked. She shook her head vigorously, clearly lying. I lowered my bow and arrow. It's demigod blood. I have no desire to open the portal, but another super immortal does. She stared at me, confused. The child's mother. Sooner or later, she's going to open the portal. No! Lypye snapped. Jasmine wouldn't go that far. Unlike Kate Cone, I can see a prophecy in my mind. I just don't hear them. I see the prophecy where Queen Hina's oldest 2 children will bring ultimate destruction. Something else was added to that prophecy a few years prior, I hinted. And unlike the enemy, Lypye whispered. Jazz isn't evil. Wake the fuck up, Lypye, I snapped. Have you not noticed changes with her? Have you not noticed the gained confidence level? She's been a super immortal for 3 years. None of this started until she overheard you and Keikon mention it. The more power she finds out she has, the more untouchable she believes she is. The more corrupt she becomes. I almost did the same thing. Even the purest of hearts can become corrupt with power if they don't use it properly, especially those who have always felt like a weak link. Is that why you never use your powers against anyone? Because you're afraid of becoming corrupt? Lypye asked. I crossed my arms. I'm not afraid of anything. I will use my powers against a fair opponent. Until then, powers are for defense only. We heard a slight tap on the window. Both of us saw the child staring at us in shock. When she noticed us looking at her, she quickly ran away. I used the power of telepathy to read the child's mind. She saw you transform, Lypye. Lypye stared at the window in terror. Leave Kelly out of your plans. She quickly dashed into the house, slamming the door behind her.